All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. This is the afternoon show on WVON 1690, 63 years and counting. I love it. Dr. LaDonna Raeh is in the building alongside with, well, Atiba's recovering. And until he returns, Ken Duncan is filling in, but he also left me. So I feel like the men in my life are just leaving me left and right. So I started with the song Goodbye, but Ken will be back on Monday. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have us on Facebook Live, make sure you share the show. We have a fantastic show for you today. I'm going to jump right into this first segment because journalism is that becoming a thing of the past, especially for the young people? What's happening with our young journalists? Are they looking at TikTok and saying, "Hey, why even bother? Why am I in the journalism space?" But every generation has a responsibility to tell its own story. But what happens when fewer young people want to become people responsible for telling it? Today, news breaks on TikTok before it even reaches the evening news. Anyone with a smartphone can go live. They can do all kinds of things. But let me get this person on real quick. Tracy Baim. Hi, Tracy. I want to make sure that everybody knows that you are one of Chicago's most respected journalists, publishers, and authors. For more than 4 decades, you have championed community journalism, helped launch and grow independent news organizations, mentored countless journalists, and worked to ensure that every community has a voice. And today you're on with us. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you, LaDonna.
Same here. Absolutely. So, if nobody tells our stories, who gets to write the history? What's going on with these young journalists?
It's really funny. Back when I graduated in 1984, the path to journalism was pretty restricted to people of color, to women, to LGBTQ people. And so there were a lot of gatekeepers in those journalism schools back then. It was not all rosy. And a lot of people had to create their own paths, including WVON and the Chicago Defender and other community media. A lot of people didn't go through the traditional journalism schools. So I don't have as much a concern. I do think journalism itself should be a 101 course in every high school in America, because there are citizens journalists out there with their TikToks and their Facebooks and Instagrams, and it would be great for them to at least understand the basic laws of libel and slander and other types of ethical concerns, because we now have more people reporting the news than we ever have in human history. Mm-hmm. What we need to do is meet them where they are. And getting a 4-year degree or a master's degree in journalism isn't always financially paying off for every kind of community. Mm-hmm. I do think there's some really exciting stuff coming out of our journalism schools now. In the Chicago area, very strong innovation on including influencers and other types of training for entrepreneurs who want to be journalists. So I am actually kind of excited about this new generation creating their own path with telling truthful stories to their communities. They do need some of the basics, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, polls are consistently showing decline in trust in the media, especially with administration always calling it fake news. How do we get here? I mean, we know how we got here with the current administration, and one person says one thing, a journalist says something different, and then also having your hands tied. Having to follow the specific protocols just to keep your media passes. What say you?
I do agree that nationally we have a very compromised media. A lot of them are paying, access journalism, and they're worried about offending people, and they're owned by corporate overlords who are trying to get mergers approved. Mm-hmm. But at the local level, studies do show that people still do trust local media. People they hear on the radio like VON, people they read in Block Club Chicago. The trust in local news is high, certainly a lot higher than mainstream media. So what I lean into as executive director of Press Forward Chicago, we lean into local independent media, doing support and helping them grow and sustain audiences, and even partnering with influencers. We held an influencer summit with traditional media a few weeks ago, and 200 folks at Chicago Shakespeare Theater really learned how to maybe work together to kind of counter that negative narrative about journalism, but also counter misinformation.
I'm so glad that you said that, because back in the day, would you ever have seen that we would be partnering, or journalists would be partnering with influencers?
No, and I think that there's a lot of journalists who still look down on influencers, mm-hmm. but we've got to understand someone like Sherman Dilla Thomas, he's an influencer, and he's telling our history in a different way. Well, how about we partner with him, and some media have partnered with him on telling our current situation.
Yeah.
Yesterday is history. And we need to make sure that we're partnering with the people that reach the folks that need that accurate news and information.
Look, I know you got to get to a meeting. I respect your time, but I do want to ask, what is Press Forward Chicago doing to strengthen local journalism and encourage the next generation of reporters? Because we need them.
Yeah, we are definitely, like, I visited TrueStar Media last week, which is doing really terrific stuff of training folks that are in the 18 to 24 age range on how to tell their own stories. They have talk shows. They have all sorts of things that they're teaching the youth. There's some really great younger journalism programs out there that we partner with. And then we're also supporting the new generation of journalists as well as traditional media. So we do training of folks. We do lots of grants directly to media outlets. There are 45 Press Forward chapters around the country that are all looking in their own communities on how to strengthen them. What works in Chicago may not work in Alaska, but we can learn from each other and create a new generation of media that is much stronger to weather whatever is going to hit us next. Something's going to hit us next.
Listen, you, after 4 decades of this profession, young lady, I want to know what keeps you passionate about journalism.
When I meet 20-somethings who want to do this work, I was that 20-something, and people told me I couldn't do it because I was openly gay. And I've been on VON for decades talking about how vital it is that we have all these diverse voices. So I'm inspired by people like Melody Span Cooper and VON and all the people, younger and older, that are continuing in this profession despite all the odds, despite the attacks. We know it's so important to tell our own community story.
Well, I want to thank you, Tracy Baim, for coming on so quickly and so short. I know you got to go, so I am going to be respectful. And apologize from me, okay, that we kept you a little bit longer. So thank you.
We are good, and I'm happy to come back anytime. Thanks so much. Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was Tracy Baim, Executive Director of Press Forward Chicago. We are talking about the loss of love for journalism from the young people. I want to keep this conversation going. Definitely want to ask you guys some questions. What would you encourage your child or grandchild or young person in your life to become a journalist today? Why or why not? 773-591-1690, because we got to have somebody to tell the stories so that we can, go back in time and find the true history. If the stories ain't right, the history ain't going to be right. That's right. I said ain't, and I said it with passion. Guys, we're going to go to traffic and weather right here on WVON 1690. Don't forget to share the show and drop those comments. I did put that email address that you guys requested in yesterday's comments on Facebook. So make sure you get it. That was for the young lady that we had on as a guest. You'll find it in the comments that I put in there. All right, that's it. We're going to go to traffic and weather. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
And the match is about to begin. Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight. What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field. It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players. She's going for the ball. Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Bond TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Bond TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic. 35 minutes, and there is an accident on the right shoulder. Edens north of Cicero Avenue. Edens Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 16 minutes. Edens Montrose Lake Cook, no delays, 16 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 45 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan, I-80, 94 update, stop and go traffic, 15 minutes. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th update, there is an accident causing the right lane to be partially blocked. Dan Ryan at 47th Street, 31 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, stop and go traffic, 43 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 50 minutes. And Edens, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 16 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
I saw you standing, and I started pretending I knew you knew me too.
Welcome back, everyone. We love you guys. WVON 63 years and counting. It's the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Raeh on the microphone with all of you. And I see a few of the comments. What about YouTubers? I want to answer that. We do have YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, just look for WVON and you'll see YouTube. You'll see our show. We publish there live, but you can find a lot of the archive shows on YouTube, and definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've been talking about the future of journalism. And one question continues to rise to the surface is, if fewer young people are choosing journalism, who gets to tell our stories? And by stories, I mean history. Because once it's published, it becomes history yesterday. Today, information travels faster than ever. But people don't realize the speed of equal accuracy, so they question it. It goes back and forth. It just depends on who's saying it. Social media has given everyone a platform. But journalism has always been about more than simply posting first. It's about asking tough questions, verifying facts, providing context, and holding those in power accountable. I often say that WVON is a myriad or a mixture, a hybrid even. We have journalism and we have commentators, okay, or commentary rather. So journalism, commentary. If you think about it, journalism is what happened, the facts. Okay. Commentary is what we think. So when people call in, sometimes they call in with facts along with some commentary. So there's a mixture, and that's what makes it interactive and sometimes fun and frustrating. So if you think about it in that realm, the same thing is happening on social media. People are reading maybe a headline, doing research or not, forming opinions or based on they have informed opinions. But then the journalists that do all the work, that go out there and do all the heavy lifting, get the stories, talk to the actual people, boots on the ground, they're actually getting the facts so that they can bring the information to you. And then you have someone in administration saying, that's fake news because they're on such and such platform. So is journalism losing its appeal, or is it simply evolving into something new? To help us continue this conversation, I'm going to get Logan Page, but I'm going to wait until she comes. You ready? Okay. Maybe she thought I changed my mind. But I wanted to get Logan Page in because she's so young, because she's our news reporter. Logan is on the front lines of reporting the stories. I've seen you out there, Logan. You've been out there talking to different people. You're always in the feed of journalism. no matter what the story is. This is every day, all day. And you're under attack right now, okay? And I noticed that. I recognize that. But you also understand both the challenges and the opportunities facing journalism today. Logan, welcome to the afternoon show.
Thank you, LaDonna Raeh.
Right? You don't know what to
Make sure.
we've been first naming it all this time, right? I
Um,
said it's LaDonna Raeh.
Yes.
But as someone who is living in this profession every day, are we seeing young people walk away from journalism, in your opinion, or are they redefining what it means to be a journalist?
I think personally, they've started to redefine it. I think there's so many different avenues to express news and facts these days with the social media. Like, it's like really the question, like, what kind of is journalism these days? I think a lot of people are really relying on, the younger people to, take over, I guess, with all like these leaders that are passing and stuff. I think it's kind of on us now. And,
Yeah.
With ChatGPT and all these other avenues, it's kind of hard to, want to do it on your own, I guess, these days. For me, I personally like writing and reading on my own time. I don't think a lot of people do that these days, but
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. But I know for sure, like, I read something the other day and they were saying how like 80% of teenagers describe mainstream news as negative words and kind of more biased and like not, they're looking for something more interesting, I think.
Mhm.
I personally just sit around and watch the news. The first thing I do when I wake up is watch the news, but maybe that's just because I am in journalism. I don't
Right.
know if everyone else is checking their TV or even have cable TV
Mhm.
anymore.
Right. That's a good one.
To be fair, but that's really my perspective on it. I think too, I went to school for journalism, so some people might not have an interest in journalism if they didn't, major in it or make that what they wanted to do for a career. So
Did you go to school for journalism because it was your passion before that, or did it become your passion after attending?
I knew before I was going to college, like I wanted to be a journalist. So that was what my heart was set on. But I know a lot of people that were lawyers and other people that were taking like my classes and stuff. So obviously you have to have journalism to have these other careers. So it just depends which path you're going, honestly, I think. But journalism is mixed in with everything, honestly, these days. So I think you kind of have to have it, and they don't know that they're interested in it necessarily,
Right.
but they are.
Yeah. You mentioned that you get up in the morning and watch the news. I didn't start doing that until I was in my late 20s,
Yeah.
after COVID or after 9/11. 9/11 happened. I got a phone call. Did you see what happened to those planes? And I turned on the news and I've been on it ever since. How do you even unplug and still, still stay positive? Because I work with you
Mhm.
and you have this positive energy around you 95% of the time.
Thank you.
You
I
know,
try.
and being watching the news and reporting the news and being in the news, how do you keep a positive perspective around you, still knowing what's going on in the news?
I think specifically here, I think we don't really highlight, trying to tear down our city and, all this gun violence. So I think that's one perspective why I don't, or I'm not as affected by it. But also too, I think I'm not really affected by it because I'm low key desensitized from it. Like,
Oh.
I think being from Chicago,
Mhm.
that's one portion of it,
Mhm.
and just that tough skin, like you kind of just ignore it. But also, I feel like just how social media has taken over and how much I read about what's going on in the world, I kind of just have become desensitized. Like you would think I should be like low key
Yeah.
depressed and everything,
Yeah.
but I can't because that's not a way to live.
That's
So
true.
keep on pushing.
I'm glad you said this is my last question because I know
Yeah.
you have to give us traffic and weather
Mhm.
and news.
Yep.
Where do you see journalism 5 years from now as it relates to young people?
Mm, I think it'll be better personally. I think there's so much more access to news. We have podcasts, we have regular news, we have opinion based news, we have regular traditional news.
Mhm.
So I think it'll be honestly better, but I am a little bit nervous just about how much control AI could be taking over
Yeah.
our news.
You still
But
have to fact check with AI.
yeah, we have to
Yeah.
fact check. That stuff doesn't even make sense half the time if you put it in.
starts hallucinating,
Yeah.
right? It's telling you something that happened 12 years ago, and you're like, wait, what?
Actually,
Well,
that's when
thank
you
you.
have to be a journalist.
I appreciate you. Logan Page, guys from WVON's
Thank you.
newsroom. Thank you so much for your time. But I'm going to take the conversation to another level. And thank you so much again, Logan Page. And in a minute,
No
I'm going to
problem.
actually give it back over to Logan Page for news, traffic, and weather. All right, guys. Yeah, let me go ahead and grab a caller real quick. Django, go ahead and talk real quick before we go to break.
Oh,
How you
wow.
doing? I know, right? Hi, Django.
Hey, yeah, I was really going to share a story. My daughter.
It's a long
went into
story. Is it a
journalism.
long story?
I mean, it's. I mean,
Well,
we're
I'm gonna
at the
hold you.
break right
I'm
now.
gonna hold you over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you over. Okay?
Okay.
I'll hold you over to the break. All right, let's put him back on hold. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Looks like I got a guest on too. We're gonna come circle back and get all of that. And I do see that we have someone that is on hold as well, named Claude, or is it Claude? It's Claude. Okay. No problem. All right, guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Please share the show on Facebook, right? I want to show off for Atiba. I don't want him to say, that it's because he wasn't here. He's going to throw it in my face. Trust me. 773-591-1690. We'll be right back after news, traffic, and weather with who? Logan Page. We'll be right back.
Thank you, LaDonna. Hope you're staying cool and safe with these air quality issues. Chicago, I'm Logan Page, and here it's happening in your local and national news. There is good news for commuters on the South Shore train line. Rail officials say regular service will resume on Friday following a June 24th freight train derailment near East Chicago, Indiana. The bus shuttles available between the Hammond Gateway and East Chicago stations will end later tomorrow evening. The first train on the schedule on Friday will be eastbound train 401, which leaves Carroll Avenue station in Michigan City at 3:50 a.m. In other news, the Illinois State Board of Education has released a 409-page guide to help schools use artificial intelligence responsibly in classrooms and school operations. The guidance was developed with input from educators and experts and also disclosed that AI tools, including ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, were used to help draft and edit portions of the document. Officials say the guidance promotes transparency, ethical AI use, and emphasizes that AI should support, not replace, human teaching and learning. In other news, Michigan health officials are urging residents to avoid bagged lettuce and salad mixes as they investigate an outbreak of cyclopsoriasis, a parasitic infection. More than 5,000 cases have been reported nationwide, including over 3,000 in Michigan. The CDC and FDA are investigating several outbreaks linked to fresh produce. Symptoms include severe diarrhea and other gastrointestinal issues.
Let me shake it off. I just signed a couple deals, I might break you off. And we ain't making up, I don't need a mediator.
And rapper Nicki Minaj is facing a lawsuit for her farmer law firm over an alleged unpaid legal bill of nearly $229,000. The first claim, it provided legal representation in 2024 copyright infringement case, but was never fully paid. According to reports, Minaj has not responded to the lawsuit, leading to a request for a default judgment. A hearing is scheduled for September to determine the next steps in the case. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids would not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
I am honored to have join me in the studio. It's none other than the governor of the great state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. Welcome to WVON.
Thanks, Rufus. Great to be here.
Leader Jeffries, good morning and welcome back to WVON. Good to talk to you, good brother.
Good morning, Rufus. Great to be on with you.
Senator Tammy Duckworth, how are you?
It's great. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me on.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Here is your traffic update, Chicago. I'm Logan Page. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th, slow go. And please be cautious, there is an accident causing the right lane to be partially blocked in Ryan at 47th Street, 31 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94, slow-moving traffic through the roadwork zone, 18 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 49 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfton Post Office, 25 minutes. 40 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic 53 minutes. And Edens, Montrose Lake Cook, no delays, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Where do they get off telling you that I am not the least bit into you? Just tell me on the hill, they can tell you they know what's in my heart. What do they get from
All right, welcome back to the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Raeh. You can hit those phone lines as you guys have been doing. I'm so proud of you. 773-591-1690. We are 63 years and counting. I want you to tell somebody that you still listen to WVON. I love that. I love it when I go somewhere and I say, do you listen to WVON? And they say yes. Sometimes people say, they're still around. Look, you have no idea. Some people think because we moved from 87th Street that we just disappeared. But we just changed our address, guys. All right, I'm going to get back to these phone lines. Now, I do want to acknowledge that I see Claude and Ron holding, but I also see that we have Morgan Johnson with the Tribe on. I want to bring her on and then, hey, Morgan, hello there. You're with the Tribe, a digital media platform dedicated to telling stories that center Black centers around Black Chicago and amplifies Black voices. Welcome to the show.
Hi, hello, and hi to the whole WVON family.
Well, we love you. I'm so glad you popped in because, you know, you can definitely further this conversation, but I want to give Django a chance. He was telling me a story before we went to break. You heard him, right? So I want to make sure I get him back on so he can finish or begin and end his story so we can hear it.
All right, I'll be here.
Thank you. Hey, Django, go ahead. You were talking about your daughter.
Yes. And dealing with journalism because she went to college for journalism, and she started her career at KTVA in Anchorage, and then she moved over to KSBW in Monterey, California. But she left journalism because of the news editors. And the
what does that mean?
Well, the news editors are the ones who decide what gets aired and what doesn't get aired.
Right, but why did she leave because of them?
Well, because she saw the bias in her reporting. Like in Anchorage, it's not a lot of black people, but it's enough. She would do news stories on black people and then request to do a follow-up story and get denied.
Wow.
And so she just did not like the politics that went into the news. And of course, now she's the head of media for the Army. She works for the Department of Defense. And so she creates all of the videos for their recruitment.
I love that.
But,
okay. So she took it and went somewhere else with it.
But one of the things about journalism that I want to speak to, because it just happened the other day with the Nolan Wells situation out of Mississippi, where Good Morning America had Michael Strahan interview the family instead of Robin Roberts, who is from that area down in Mississippi, Ocean Springs and all that. Robin is very well known, loved and respected in that area. And so somebody made the decision not to have Robin Roberts to interview the family or the parents of Nolan Wells, but Michael Strahan, which I think if Robin Roberts had done it, it would have been more impactful. But that's a decision somebody behind the scenes made.
Maybe, because there's times when we are scheduled to interview people and we are not available. Maybe she may not have been available when they were available. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt. But either way, I could see if Michael Strahan wasn't black. You know, that would kind of concern me. But the fact of the matter that they still gave it to a black person I'm sorry, black person. I feel weird saying that. They gave it to someone that was of color, okay, African American, to still conduct the interview. That doesn't bother me as much. So it could have been a scheduling conflict.
These are some of the things, like, you may look at it from that standpoint, right? And that's cool. But if you're really trying to be impactful, this is a national story now. It's not just a local story. So if it's got national attention, it just seems wise.
Yeah, but it's
somebody who's from that.
Right. It's already impactful because of the story itself, not necessarily because of the reporter. That's just my opinion. And that's all I'm saying.
But the news editors do have a lot of control, and they need to be spoken to because they pick and choose what the people see and how they see it. And that's part of the challenge with journalists, because some journalists want to bring their passion or their viewpoint, and they're being blocked by their own news editor and being able to get the message out the way that it does. So I think that's one of the major issues. We got to figure out who are the editors, in these newspapers or these news stations. What are their mindset? You know what I'm saying? And what are their politics? All of this stuff, goes into play.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Django. That was interesting. Morgan Johnson, we got a couple of more callers holding, but I wanted to give you a chance to speak because you called in.
Hi, thank you so much. I saw that this conversation was happening and wanted to definitely chime in, because a lot of why the tribe exists was to try to solve this problem of, what's wrong with journalism? Why is the relationship between journalism and Black communities so frayed? What can we do to really rebuild that trust? So that's the reason why we started the tribe back in 2017 with the mission to reshape the narrative of Black Chicago in pursuit of truth and liberation. And man, it's been a journey. We've learned so much. And I want to definitely uplift what Django just said about his daughter, because a part of the reason why our editor-in-chief and co-founder, Tiffany Walden, had trouble working with legacy media platforms is because as a Black woman, she had trouble pitching stories to these legacy publications, oftentimes because the editors were white people who are not from Chicago and did not even recognize the value of the pitches that she was bringing to them, because they're not from here, they're not from the culture. And so they were not green lighting her stories. So when we don't have power from the top, our stories don't get told. And then the community has a frayed relationship with the press, because when does the press show up? On the worst days of our lives, when someone has been shot and killed, or there's been some kind of violent action that has happened in the community. So when we first started the tribe, we would go out on the west side and just be outside trying to meet with people, learn their stories. And by the mere presence of a camera, people would approach us and say, has somebody been hurt? Has somebody been shot over here? Because that was their relationship with the press. And we would say, no, we're just here to get to know you and to capture the community. Mm-hmm. And that's when we really knew that there was a really deep and disturbing problem with the Black community's relationship with media.
You know, I'll give you a similar situation when I started realizing how stories are chosen and how who's on the forefront of what those narratives look like. I was asked to be a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. This was a long time ago, and the topic of discussion was about people who had been in a coma. And because I had been in a coma, I went ahead and agreed to be on the show. But when I got there, I was supposed to be on the panel. I didn't make it to the panel because my story wasn't as tragic as everyone else's. So I was in a coma for 8 days. I was paralyzed on my right side from the neck down. I had to learn how to walk and talk again and write again. I remember writing a Mother's Day card to my mother. But I had to do it with my left hand. My story was more of a, wow, I overcame it. So I was sat in the audience and I was no longer on the panel. Everyone else's story was,
That's really, really common in journalism. And I would say especially in TV news. It's happened to me a couple of times where I've been asked to come on a show to do political commentary. And if I want to bring a more nuanced take that's not very polarizing, they'll give me a pre-interview. And if I'm not coming on there to disparage someone or to, again, a very polarizing figure, and I want to bring people deeper into the story, they'll say, you know what, we're actually looking for someone with this point of view. Like, are you all the way for it or are you all the way against it?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of politics is covered to me like sports coverage, where it's like there's a winner and a loser, and we want to drive those tensions because we know that creates ratings. So when we talk about what's broken in journalism, we have to really break down how journalism is a capitalistic entity, these are companies, corporate entities that, and you have to think about who they're accountable to and what they're accountable to.
Wow.
And I think that now with the internet and with there's such a diversity of voices that people have access to, I think a lot of people look at journalism and they say, you know what, this actually does not feel like the most honest place to get my news, because I can see the agenda. I can see how they're driving polarizing narratives. I can see how they're anti-Black, and I can go over here on this other platform and get something that feels more honest. So what we've tried to do as a tribe is to actually be upfront about our bias and say, hey, you know what? We are here for Black people. It's right here in our mission. We're going to uplift liberation causes. We're going to uplift grassroots organizing. If you are reading The Tribe, that's what you're here to see. And the way that you hold us accountable is if you see us doing some weird corporate anti-Black stuff. We'll be like, okay, The Tribe is off track.
Morgan,
okay?
Hold for just a second. We're going to go to traffic and weather. And when we come back, Ron, I see you holding. Looks like I lost my guy that was on hold. What was his name? Claude hung up. Was it on topic? Darn it. We missed Claude. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I really appreciate your patience while holding. We definitely want to give everyone a chance to have the floor, but I got to do it in order. All right. We will be right back. We're going to do some traffic and weather, and you're listening to the afternoon show. Share the show. Let everybody know that we are here and we are here for you. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
At ComEd, we create financial assistance programs with you in mind. It's one reason we created SAM, our smart assistance manager, to help families like yours take control of their energy bills. SAM can help you find financial assistance and payment options. Discover programs like budget billing, due date extensions, deferred payment arrangements, and more. You may be relieved to discover what you're eligible for. Learn more at ComEd.com/SAM. ComEd, powering lives.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
What's up, Chicago? I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Slow go, 31 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tie-80. No delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tie-80, 94, stop and go traffic, 19 minutes due to work zones. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic, 40 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office is at a snail speed, 38 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, bumper to bumper traffic, 54 minutes. And Edens, Montrose, Slate Cook, smooth sailing, 16 minutes. The weather for 2 days, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON, 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What do they get from telling you that I don't give a damn about you? Just tell me why the hell somebody wants to tear you apart. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why? Why do them people have to tell you lies? I know.
I love Tevin Campbell. You know, I was just in the mood to hear him today. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Raeh, also known as LaDonna Raeh, also known as Dr. Raeh. Look, I'm just wearing it out today, right? Ken is out today. He will be back on Monday. And you know Atiba is out. And of course, you can download our WVON app, go to the open mic feature and send him well wishes. And even if he's listening now, you can always, when you call in, you can say, "What's up, Atiba?" You know, thoughts and prayers and all that fun stuff. He'll hear you, and we'll probably save it and send it to him anyway, because we want him healthy and we want him strong when he returns. And those of you that have not considered being donors, please reconsider, because I would hate for my dear friend to have been on a transplant list and not be able to get a kidney, but he got one because someone said yes. Okay. Someone said yes. Right now, we're talking about the future of journalism as it has to do with young people that are losing interest in journalism. And if they do, who's going to tell our stories? What history will there be left behind that we can refer back to? I know many of you are going to Google searches to look for those stories that took place whenever it did. And you're finding the information based on what has happened. And that's because someone covered it. But what if young people decide, I'm out of here? All right. But joining us is Morgan Johnson with the Tribe. She has so eloquently spoke about why the Tribe even exists and what they're doing to include young journalists and keep them engaged and keep the stories and push the stories out there, much like WVON. We're trying to find those stories. That's why I'm always asking you guys, send me an email, LaDonna@WVON.com. What do you want to talk about? Now, I don't get a lot of emails, just so you know. Okay. I want to go ahead and grab our caller, Ron. Morgan, we're going to talk to Ron and see what he has. Ron, what you got for us? You have a question for Morgan?
Yeah, well, first of all, regarding journalism, particularly relative to Black people, it's always the same perspective. Most Black people are not from. I kept telling you about Robert Woodson. He passed. You didn't get him on. Jason Riley. I don't even know if your guests are familiar with them. Thomas Sowell. Jason. See, so once they get painted as conservatives, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to have them. So that's what I'm getting ready to say. It's not a balanced perspective. It's not a balanced perspective. See, I read these Black, they call them conservative, and I don't even agree with them. But we just get fed the same thing. And I'm going to leave it like this. In this state, city, and county, as far as journalism and media, relative to Black people, they are all just controlled by they you know what they are? They are precinct captains for the Democrat Party. There is no independent Black thought. And I've been saying this for the longest. Bring somebody on. But they keep blaming white folks and let's depend on government. So ask your guest to look up the names I gave her.
Yeah.
Jason Riley.
Did. You know what? I looked up Jason Wiley when you mentioned him. It feels like it's been a year. I looked him up. I reached out to him. I did not get a reach back because I don't have it. Because I don't have
him down. How do I hear him down the dial?
Ron.
And I can't hear him on this station.
Ron. If I reach out to him to come on the show and he doesn't reach
I'll
back,
reach out to him.
Thank you. You do that for me. I appreciate you. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Ron. All right, Morgan. Did you want to respond to that, please?
Well, I can speak a little bit to the repetitiveness of media narratives because we actually have found some trends, as we have worked to reshape the narrative of Black Chicago. So political narratives definitely have seasons. Like right now, we're in what we call at the Tribe violence narrative season, the summer months where there is an uptick in a certain type of crime. And what we try to do is we craft an editorial imperative, meaning this is a goal that we have and like how we want to penetrate a certain narrative. And a narrative that is so important for us to work on is how we talk about and discuss crime and public safety. And there's this very harmful practice within journalism of if it bleeds, it leads. So if there is a shooting or something like that, that's always going to be shown on the news. But now, if we look at the state of America and we look at who have been doing rampant crime and fraud and whoever, it's not the boys who are, going downtown and doing a smash and grab. It is the federal government. These are the people who have the highest levels of power who are robbing the people. So imagine if journalists and journalism institutions simply change their priorities to focus on those in power and to reallocate their resources from, the day-to-day low-level crimes to those that are doing systemic harms that affect hundreds and thousands and millions of people at a time. So I think, the type of mistrust that Black people have in journalism is the same type of mistrust that we've had in politicians. And at the Tribe, we've really been trying to get down to the bottom of that by reshaping and reframing how we talk about crime. What is a crime? Who is a criminal? And when? And what are the power dynamics there?
And Morgan, do you guys have any feel good sections? Because I want Win It Wednesday. Like, I want to start Win It Wednesday when I can do an entire day of nothing but positive news. But it makes it difficult. I've tried it several times.
It is so important for us to show the full humanity of Black people and our experiences. And that's why it's been so important for us during crime narrative season to uplift Black joy and summertime shy. So if you go to thetribe.com, and again, we're The Tribe, spelled with 2 I's, TRIIBE.com, you'll see stories that show like the full breadth and life of Black Chicago. And for those of you who are interested in digging into narrative change work and how we break down political narratives, you can become a member of the Tribe where you'll get our Reshape newsletter.
Okay. All right. That's good information. Good to know. Hey, Morgan, make sure that you spoke to Layla, right? No, yes. I want to get your information. This is what I'm asking.
But yes, I sent her an email, so definitely let's connect it.
Yeah. Can you send me an email, LaDonna at WVON.com?
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you coming on and talking about the future of journalism, where it's headed, why it's the way it is, answering some questions. I mean, this is an evergreen conversation because journalism has evolved greatly when it comes to the platforms that it lives on. But journalism is journalism. Okay. That's what it is. Thank you so much, Morgan.
Thank you.
All right, guys, you are listening to the afternoon show. Atiba is still resting. I said that already. Ken is kicking it with his family. I didn't say that already. But you got LaDonna Raeh here. I'm still here. And up next, we've got, yes, you love her. You know her, Dr. Mila Marshall. She's going to tell us about all this smoke that we're going to see, if we haven't already, from Canada. They got smoke signals they're sending to us. Is that a message? Or is that a problem? Let's talk about it and see how we can fix it. Yeah, we have the power, guys. News, traffic, weather. We'll be right back.
Hope you're staying cool, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. City Council passes TIF money for new Chicago fire site. Man charged in deadly Northwest Side hit and run last February. And Skyguard Dijonay Carrington is almost ready to play after injury. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Yeah, news now. Questions remain after a Houston ICE raid ended with the death of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia.
Asians approach in unmarked vehicles with no lights, and none had dash cam videos.
She says available video evidence raises doubts about claims he drove toward agents while local and federal investigations continue. Abortion will be on the ballot in at least 4 states this November, including Idaho, where voters will decide whether to roll back the state's abortion ban. Similar measures in Virginia, Nevada, and Missouri could reshape abortion access in those states. And Nicki Minaj's company, Harajuku Barbie Music, is being sued by her own law firm for nearly $230,000 in unpaid legal fees tied to a 2024 copyright case they worked on for her. Records show a default has been entered after the rapper reportedly failed to continue payments and didn't respond to the lawsuit. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
Senate Democrats defeating a motion to proceed to the $1.15 trillion annual defense authorization bill. The measure typically enjoys strong bipartisan support, but this year it's devolved into a partisan fight over defense spending levels. New Jersey's Black Senator Cory Booker's position hasn't changed in the past few months.
The way he is trying to bring us out of this war not only speaks to the failures of the war in total, but it also speaks in a bipartisan way to how bad of a leader he is. When you have Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and progressives all coming out talking about capitulation, surrender, catastrophe. You know how bad this deal is. Iran gets all of the benefits, literally billions and billions of dollars, and America continues to hurt and see the losses from the $100 billion we spent in the war to every American citizen seeing their costs skyrocket.
The motion to advance the annual defense bill failing 50 to 46 and needed 60 votes to succeed. Senators voted along party lines, except for Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who changed his vote from yes to no. And there were 4 senators who missed the vote. The legislation advanced out of the Senate Armed Services Committee last month. Democrats also cited a restart of the military conflict with Iran and the president's failure to seek congressional authorization. All right. Meanwhile, Trump said strikes would continue unless Iran negotiates.
Next week, it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges.
Trump said Iran has a lot of fight in them. He told Fox News the only way to negotiate with Iran is through strength and threatened that the U.S. would hit bridges and power plants if Iran fails to negotiate. This comes as the U.S. has reimposed the naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and launched strikes against Iran for another day. New York's Black Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement that the first time the administration tried to take mental health services away from children, we beat them in court. Now, she's among a group of state attorneys general suing the Department of Education over what they claim is unlawful termination of congressionally approved mental health grants for public school students. The grants were awarded for a 5-year project period. Last year, the Education Department implemented plans to discontinue the program on the basis that they conflicted with the administration's current priorities. A U.S. district judge granting a permanent injunction on the plan, agreeing with plaintiffs that it was arbitrary and capricious under federal law. Despite the motion, the department has indicated it still intends to terminate some or all of the grants at the end of the month. The former president of Senegal, Macky Sall, returning to the region to meet his successor, Bassirou Faye, for the first time since leaving office. His mission is to garner support for his United Nations Secretary General bid. The former president announcing the trip in a statement on social media, describing it as part of consultations and meetings linked to his campaign for the top post. Senegal writ large has so far remained silent on Sall's UN ambitions and has not officially supported his candidacy. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
If watching TV has gotten way too complicated for you, then here's some good news. You can say goodbye to a million different subscriptions, wasting money, and endless searching for something to watch. And say hello to Philo, a better way to TV. Philo's the only streaming service that keeps you in mind, making TV easy and affordable, without sacrificing quality or the channels you love. With Philo, there's a package that's right for you. Whether you're looking for the best live TV on more than 70 channels, with a huge library of movies and shows and an unlimited DVR, Or you're looking to upgrade your experience with Philo's bundle, unlocking access to even more blockbuster films and top-rated shows on HBO Max Basic with ads, Discovery Plus, and AMC Plus. Whatever you choose, with Philo, you're getting great TV for an even better price. Find out more at philo.tv. Subscriptions auto-renew, cancel anytime, see philo.tv for more.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're having a wonderful day, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th, stop and go traffic, 26 minutes. I-57 Ryan's I-80, stop and go traffic, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan's I-80 94, stop and go traffic, 20 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 39 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office is at a snail speed, 38 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, bumper to bumper traffic, 50 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lee Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, still wildfire smoke from Canada, so please be careful. It's very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
I think nuts. I'd rather do you after school like some homework. Am I getting you in my bedroom? 'Cause then we have to stop. I'd rather wait till everyone's fast asleep than do it in the kitchen on a tabletop. Oh! We got to break it on time. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Y'all wasn't expecting that, were you? Break it all the way down. Come to think of it, wasn't Tevin like 15 when he was singing that? Look, Chicago festival season is heating up, and Metra is your ride to fun. Whether you're heading to Tacos and Tequila Fest in Pilsen or sampling the best bites at Taste of River North, skip the traffic, forget the parking fees, and let Metra get you there. With affordable fares, easy ticketing on the Ventra app, and convenient connections throughout the city, Metra makes it simple to enjoy everything Chicago has to offer. Plus, kids 11 and under ride free. This weekend, spend less time driving and more time tasting, exploring, and breaking it down. That's right, making memories. Take Metra. Drive less, do more. Well, it's the afternoon show. And I tell you what, it's LaDonna Raeh. And I don't know if you noticed on the news, they were talking about all the smoke that's coming from Canada's wildfires. Yeah, this has happened before, guys. As you know, once again, it's on, as they used to say, and it's drifting into our region, creating unhealthy air quality conditions across the city. I literally brought my inhaler. I have asthma, and I don't need my inhaler but maybe once a year. But I did not want to be out in these elements and take a chance on needing my inhaler. This conversation that we're about to have is about, well, I should say much more than just the weather, because it's hot outside, yes, and it's humid, and I love it. But it's about public health, and it's about environmental justice. You need to understand why some communities bear a heavier burden than others when our air quality becomes unsafe. Joining us now is Dr. Mila Marshall, an environmental scientist, educator, and nationally respected voice on climate resilience, environmental health, and sustainable communities. Dr. Marshall has dedicated her career to helping communities understand the connection between the environment and our everyday lives, from the air we breathe and the water we drink to the policies that shape public health and quality of life. Dr. Marshall, welcome to the afternoon show.
Thank you so much. I'm like, did I write that intro or did you do that?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
I did my research, okay?
Oh man, that was beautiful. And yes, I'm happy to be here. And you're right. We are here again. So I'm happy to break it on down for the listeners and
Right,
hopefully get
right.
some, definitely call in, ask any question, on today's air quality or climate. We love to have you. But yeah, ready to kick it off.
Absolutely. And so we hear that in the headlines, find a cooling center, don't be outside too long, don't this, that, and the other. And here's what crosses my mind, and you can correct me. I know that my home, it can be safe. I can have all the filters and windows closed, but the air comes from somewhere, doesn't it? Doesn't it come from outside?
It does, but when you have a really good indoor filtration system and HVAC, it can be a world of difference. So it does matter. And I was thinking about this as preparing for the show. I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, grow rooms for marijuana right now has cleaner air than a lot of people in the Midwest.
Whoa. Why is that?
Because
Photosynthesis and all that fun just stuff?
well, photosynthesis helps the plant grow, but
Mhm.
marijuana needs very clean air in order for it to grow in a healthy way. All marijuana in Illinois is grown indoors, and so anything grown indoors in a controlled environment literally is getting healthier, cleaner air, water, more nutrients than what's happening outdoors. For me, that's just a pretty wild reality. But yeah.
Whoa. And so when we hear about the wildfires in Canada, I know a
Mhm.
lot of times we hear things that happen in especially in another country and we don't think it affects us. But
Right.
it's the opposite.
It absolutely is. Like, first of all, the earth is a living system. There's no disconnection between water and air. All things move. And I don't want to like criminalize fire. Like,
Mhm.
fire in this region is natural. It's supposed to happen. It actually is a benefit. And the wildfires that we're experiencing during climate change are much more challenging because we have unhealthy air already. And to be clear, the Canadian wildfires happens every year. Some people are like, well, why don't they do anything about it? The wildfires are happening in areas because of most of them in Canada from lightning striking plants that are dry during a season that either they're experiencing drought or is the dry season. And so that fire is prevalent in places where it's not easy to get to. So it's not inhabited by people. There aren't any roads. There's no firefighting infrastructure. And so those
Mhm.
fires go left unattended. Unless it's close to a place that is heavily populated. So our resources aren't, any government's resources aren't going to go where there are not people. So there's a priority. Where the air is moving right now, much of Northeast United States, so definitely Minnesota, Detroit is expected to have really unhealthy air this evening going into Thursday. New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. It's not right now, it's not expected for Chicago to receive any of that smoke, but we got our own issues because it's super hot and ground level ozone is just as harmful as particulate matter that's falling from the sky because of burning vegetation.
Ugh. I tell you what, well, we're gonna go to traffic and weather, but I'm wondering, like when we hear the words poor air quality, what is actually happening inside our bodies?
Okay.
That's something to be thinking about, guys. Guys, we're gonna be right back. Traffic and weather. You can hit those phone lines 773-591-1690. Do you believe clean air is a basic human right, or has it become a privilege based on where you live? We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Create your escape this summer at Wind Creek Casino and Hotel. You could win an incredible outdoor living prize package and transform your backyard with beautiful patio furniture, a dream outdoor kitchen, a relaxing spa, and more. A share of $100,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Earn entries now. Drawings every Saturday, July 11th to August 1st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Win the backyard of your dreams at Wind Creek. Must be 21 years or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chicago officially has the worst traffic in the country. Get out of gridlock with Metra. With our 95% on-time rate, we eliminate the stress of driving and get you where you're going quickly, comfortably, and safely. Metra. Drive less, do more.
In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out and to see myself in those credits, with dun, 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 and be like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and Friends, a fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Hey, Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're staying cool, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, slow go, 30 minutes. I-57, Ryan, I-80, stop and go traffic, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan, I-80, 94, stop and go traffic, 20 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive, to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 39 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, stop and go traffic, 41 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, is at a snail speed, 50 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, severe heat threats with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1698.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Well, this Saturday, join Rainbow Push Coalition for an exclusive fireside chat with Derek Johnson, President and CEO of the NAACP. Complimentary breakfast starts at 8:30, followed by the live program at 10 a.m. And this is all taking place. You all know where the building is, but the address is 930 East 50th Street in Chicago. You can also watch on Facebook, YouTube, or the Word Network. Together, we push forward. You're listening to the afternoon show. You're watching the afternoon show. You're sharing the afternoon show. And you're calling into the afternoon show at 773 591 1690. We are talking to Dr. Mila Marshall about all of this air pollution that's taking place right now in the heat of the moment, no pun intended, but not to add another layer onto it with the Canadian wildfires. And should we be concerned, and why should we be concerned? But the question before we went to break was, what happens when we are in these particular elements? What happens to the inside of our bodies?
So you shared earlier that you have asthma, and
Mhm.
we have a number of Black folks around America that suffer from asthma as well as other respiratory issues. Anytime there is a fire, no matter if it's vegetation or building material, those tiny small pieces of particulate matter can get into our lungs, and actually they're small enough to get into our bloodstream and impact our vital organs. If it's not particulate matter and it's some other gas like ground level ozone, it is a lung irritant, and ground level ozone is toxic to all living things, both plants and animals, not just humans, and impacts our respiratory system. Black folks are twice as likely to die from respiratory issues related to asthma. We have the highest mortality rates. There was a study done by Stanford that identified we are more likely to die of air pollution than any other group. And also, it contributes to our poor health where we live. So, if you live next to a transportation corridor, like a busy expressway or a busy street, you have to think as the tires move across the street, as the emissions from the car goes up into the air, some of that just mixes and settles down, and you're breathing that in. If you live next to an industrial corridor, live next to factories, again, those plumes and that emission is going up into the air. Yes, it gets mixed and it moves around with the wind, but some of it is immediately in our areas of our homes, businesses, parks. And when we live in segregated cities, counties, and states, it's highly unlikely that we will have any reprieve. Where we work, live, and play is probably in the same low quality area. So wherever we move, we're getting low quality air. Is a public health issue. Unfortunately, we have not seen the movement of Black health to include environmental issues like the benefit of planting more trees, talking about changing your filters and improving your indoor air quality. I hope that as these conversations this week specifically, because you lifted up president of NAACP. National Convention is this week. Tomorrow at the University of Chicago, there's the People's Climate Lobby. And so NAACP has a specific day set aside to discuss these issues. So I'm really excited to participate in that because we cannot drop the ball on what is happening with climate change. It's everything from policies to our businesses to our health. This is not separate from any of our other civil rights issues. And I'm just very grateful to continue to have a platform to talk about how these, issues intersect with Black life here in Chicago specifically.
Civil rights versus human rights. I mean, it just takes me back to human rights. This is like I have the right to live. And the first thing that I think about when like looking for a home or a resident is I want to be near the expressway. I want to be near the
Right.
highway so that I can get on quickly. But you're telling me that that is probably not in my best interest.
I mean, there's always some sacrifice. I don't know if we're thinking about the consequences of where we physically choose to live. Some of it is where
Yeah.
we can afford to live. It's a benefit to be next to the expressway if you can jump on. However, on a day like this, living next to an expressway where it's gridlocked and it's 99 degrees outside and there are cars and buses and diesel trucks, you might go out and start coughing, right? The benefit is in the wintertime, or you're not thinking like, I'm going to be impacted. Maybe you don't suffer from asthma, but maybe you have to bring your elderly mother to come live with you. Maybe you have a child that has asthma. I mean, we have pets that have asthma, right? Like, so even our animals can suffer, and also our food. So for all of the people that are focused on urban agriculture, this is your fight. Growing food in the city, even though that's what my thesis was on, I've always questioned, how much do we understand that cities are the sickest places to grow food? And so, yeah, during the summertime where we're dealing with immense heat, you have to water, but we also have to be cognizant of what is in the air our plants are exposed to, as well as our physical bodies.
I have a question from our Facebook page. Someone
Yeah.
asked, Dr. Marshall, is there a correlation of environment pollution and sleep apnea?
You know what?
And it goes on to say, just I want to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
Together, he says, and it revolves around sleep apnea and how the air might affect an individual using a CPAP machine.
I am not sure. That is a great question. Thank you for that. I am not a medical doctor. This is where I would tag one of my friends in. And so maybe in the future, LaDonna, I can bring on one of my good friends that's a medical doctor that focuses on asthma and respiratory health. And we can kind of tag team, because to his point, there are a lot of correlations between what's happening outside, what's happening in our bodies, and who is most impacted. So that is a great question, and shows why it is that we need other professionals that focus just on the system of the body, as well as professionals that focus on the environment.
I love it. And if you're a doctor, feel free
Please
to call
call
in.
in.
Right,
Yes.
right? A real doctor. Okay, let's go to the next question. What about lead poisoning that saturated public housing throughout Chicago? I think that's something. Oh, data centers. That's what I want to go to. Someone asked, will data centers create pollution also? Or two?
There's a number of negative I'll say external costs to any infrastructure. One, definitely use of water. So there's different water mechanisms. There's potential for water contamination. There's a potential for reusing wastewater that causes pollution because water's not returning to surface water. So yes, there's noise pollution, there's light pollution. Noise pollution is just what it sounds like, right? Like it's loud, or there's a constant hum that you can't escape.
Yeah.
If you live next to a factory or even like a gas station, those
Yep.
bright lights never turn off. That light pollution can not just impact people, but also impact nocturnal pollinators and other living organisms that actually need it to be dark. So yes, data centers do have a number of costs, but so does any industrial factory. Our gas stations, our oil refineries, our car manufacturers, very similar footprint that we have been living with in a post-industrial region. They're just coming in and taking advantage of the space that we have and the water that we have. Also
Mm.
giving us access to storage, fast information. There are some benefits to AI, but we should be very realistic on the environmental harm that already exists within the landscape of who's here, how
Yeah.
we've been unsuccessful at holding people accountable, and bringing in another industry that's going to cause harm.
All right. And as we got to go to news, traffic, and weather. I want to be on time. I want to be respectful to Logan Page. But when we come back, guys, I see the calls out there, 773-591-1690. Now's your chance. Talk to Dr. Mila Marshall about the environment, not just the air quality, but everything that's going on as it pertains to the environment. She's here. You got to get her while she's here. Okay. We'll be right back.
Hope you're having an amazing day, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your news headlines and local and national news. The Chicago City Council is giving the green light to TIF money designated to pay for infrastructure improvements for the Chicago Fire's new stadium. Earlier this week, the Finance Committee approved tax increment funds totaling $425 million for a project known as 78. The Fire's new stadium will be named McDonald's Park. The $750 million sports venue will be privately funded. TIF money will be used for improvements that include road improvements, metro track upgrades, a parking garage, and repairs to the nearby Chicago River Wall. In other news, a Chicago man is accused of causing a deadly hit-and-run early this year on the city's northwest side. Darren Lipscomb faces several charges, including reckless homicide. The collision happened on February 20th in the 3500 block of North Elston Avenue. Police say Lipscomb was driving when he blew a red light and slammed into another vehicle. The crash led to the death of Ali Abdullah and left another person seriously hurt. Another new Sky guard, Dejanay Carrington, is getting closer to joining the game day roster. She is recovering from a foot injury that sidelined her for 10 months. Carrington is taking part in the live drills and also took part in full court games with practice players. She signed with the Sky as a free agent during the offseason after finishing last season with the Minnesota Lynx. And the family of Nolan Wells met for the first time with the Jackson County District Attorney's Office following the recovery of the 18-year-old's body. Attorney Ben Crump described the meeting as respectful and said the case will be presented to a grand jury after the investigation is complete. Authorities continue to say they do not suspect foul play and believe Wells drowned after visiting Horn Island with friends on July 4th. Prosecutors emphasized that referring the case to a grand jury is standard procedure and does not indicate criminal wrongdoing. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
If watching TV has gotten way too complicated for you, then here's some good news. You can say goodbye to a million different subscriptions, wasting money, and endless searching for something to watch. And say hello to Philo, a better way to TV. Philo's the only streaming service that keeps you in mind, making TV easy and affordable without sacrificing quality or the channels you love. With Philo, there's a package that's right for you. Whether you're looking for the best live TV on more than 70 channels with a huge library of movies and shows and an unlimited DVR, or you're looking to upgrade your experience with Philo's bundle, unlocking access to even more blockbuster films and top-rated shows on HBO Max Basic with ads, Discovery Plus, and AMC Plus. Whatever you choose, with Philo, you're getting great TV for an even better price. Find out more at philo.tv. Subscriptions auto-renew, cancel anytime, see philo.tv for more.
Summertime is playtime and hot sunny days, but it's also a time to pay extra attention to kids' safety. This Saturday on UChicago Medicine's Community Health Focus Hour, pediatric experts will join host Cedric McCoy to talk about summer safety for kids. Learn how to recognize heat exhaustion, treat sunburn, and bug bites. Know when a summer earache or allergy flare-up means it's time to see a doctor. Listen live this Saturday on WVON and Facebook. The Community Health Focus Hour, Saturdays at 1 p.m., powered by the Urban Health Initiative of UChicago Medicine at the forefront.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hey, Chicago. Hey, I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, slow go, 30 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94, stop and go traffic, 19 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive, to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 37 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf Post Office, stop and go traffic, 38 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 27-minute delay, 51 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose, Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 16 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96, and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I'll make it right. If you understand how I feel.
Ooh, you should know. You should know a new episode of Mama, I Made It is now streaming on Vaughn TV. Samantha Chapman sits down with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for an insightful conversation about leadership, service, and the future of Illinois. Watch Mama, I Made It now, only on Vaughn TV, streaming on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. You know, I heard, I saw where she had him say, I'm JB Pritzker and I'm on Mama, I Made It. Hearing him say Mama was funny to me. But, you know, Dr. Mila Marshall is with us. She is an environmental scientist, educator, and nationally respected voice on climate resilience and environmental health. That's why we're having this conversation with her, because who else can formulate or help us navigate what's going on right now, even in Chicago, where there's a lot of traveling going on. And what can we expect as we leave this particular town? Like if someone's going to Vegas, or if someone's going to Louisiana, or if someone's going, I know I went from city to state, but my point is that the air is clear in some cases, right? But not so clear in others. Your thoughts before we start grabbing these calls?
I'm ready for the calls. Let's get it.
All right, cool. Let's get James. James, thank you so much for holding. You're live on WVON.
Hey, good morning, young lady. Good afternoon, young lady.
Well, yeah, it's morning somewhere.
I love your platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, your platform is always like informative. And Doc, thank you for coming on. One of the things that I've personally been watching, you know, when I was growing up, I grew up in like a middle class neighborhood, lower middle class neighborhood, and there was trees in front of every house. And now when I ride through our tribal areas, you look up and you can see the blue sky almost everywhere. And when I'm driving, and I worked in the 9-county Chicago area for 17 years. And I'm driving, like say I live on the southwest side. I drive up LaGrange or Harlem. I see forest preserves. I see green everywhere. And there was a famous person who moved to Lake Forest years ago and began to cut down trees. The whole village went against him. They said, you in Lake Forest, you don't cut down trees here. But in our community, we cut down trees and don't replant. That's my statement, not a question.
Thank you so much, James. That was strong. Dr. Marshall?
I appreciate that because he's right. Right. Like every city, every county has how it is that they manage their urban forest. That's what it's called. We do know, I mean, the 1995 heat wave taught us like the absence of trees to help regulate temperature and the prevalence of impermeable surface, meaning it's not grass, it's concrete. It holds on to heat very differently than soil or sand, contributed to our communities being hotter than others and mortality within our communities. The way that tree keepers that are property owners, we have to know that there's a difference between a renter and an owner. Who can do what on a property, how much it costs to take care of a tree, which actually isn't that much. But if you're worried about your water bill and it's a drought season, you might not think about watering a tree that's on the city side of the property. Also, trees can be somewhat disruptive if branches start to fall or it threatens your property or is unsafe. People will remove it. But to your point, people also don't replant it. There are agencies like Metropolitan Water Reclamation District that gives away trees for free. I believe the Morton Arboretum as well. If you've never been to the Morton Arboretum, check it out. There are many organizations that are trying to reestablish trees specifically on the south and west sides, but anything that costs us extra money, people will be hesitant about. But trees are amazing temperature regulators. And yes, we do need more of them on the south and the west side for lots of different reasons.
I feel like I need to put like a dunce hat on. Can I say that on the airwaves? I remember them. Um, Only because there was a tree. There were two trees, one in the front of my house and one in the backyard. One caused significant plumbing issues
Because of the
and
roots?
because of the roots.
Yeah.
Now, what I did pour there's a chemical you pour down the drain to kind of kill the roots
Kill the
that are
roots that are in the
yeah.
drain. Yeah.
Right. And I was willing to do that, but we had a water main break where they had to dig up the entire they cut down the tree and dug it up. I had no say so because it
Right.
was on the public walkway. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hotter in my house. I have no shade. I have to keep my air on much longer. And then in the back, I was glad to get rid of that tree because it looked damaged and it would
It was
probably
sick, probably
eventually
sick. Yeah.
yeah, fall over into the house. So we celebrate, oh wow, I don't have to do this anymore, but now my money has just gotten transferred to my cooling costs.
Yes, you're absolutely right. In the summertime, trees provide shade. It can be between 10 and 15 degrees difference between the sun and the shade. Your electricity bills could benefit from it. In the wintertime, the leaves aren't there, so you get that sunlight coming in, so you're not using your heat in certain areas or might not have to plug in a heater. Trees are amazing, but they also can be messy depending on what species. Girl, some years ago, Chicago bought the wrong trees. I don't know if you were around. They bought ginkgo trees, and so some trees are both there's a male and a female, and they bought the female, and they smelled so bad, and they were messy, and they had to dig them up. It costs us money to plant and to take care of these trees. I do know that the city also is managing our ash trees because of a bug called emerald ash borer. So this infestation is requiring treatment and or removal of those trees because in the event that a tree is dead, a strong gust of wind like these tornadoes that we've been getting, 100-mile-per-hour winds, 60-mile-per-hour winds can knock that tree down and actually take a life. And so in the city, trees are beneficial, but we have to be realistic that we're sharing the infrastructure with them. And sometimes it is protecting our homes, protecting our property, not that we're trying to induce some sort of environmental issue, but those are the decisions that we have to make living in a city.
I love it. Let's go ahead and grab Art. Art, thank you so much for waiting. And please bring to the show that what your question was.
Well, my question is, or a statement is, you said it impacts our health. And somehow we always tie in that something is being deliberately done in our community, and a lack of trees and greenery impacts our health and whatever. And my question will be to her, what about the things we can control? Do you believe that alcohol and drugs, if Black people will stop smoking cigarettes, that which will destroy the environment, drugs and alcohol, would you think that would solve half or more of our health problems? And then the things we couldn't control, by eliminating that out of our system, we'll be able to overcome things that we may not have full control over. I'll leave that and what now focus on rebuilding the Black family. May God bless.
Thank you.
Art, I've heard you call in a number of times, and this is where I'm going to put on my me hat, not as Dr. Marshall environmentalist. I am a recovering addict. I'm not ashamed to say I was a pillhead. drinking and smoking. And to your point, when I decided to take care of this vessel the best I could, make better decisions, make myself more valuable to my community, my life changed. I'm not going to shame people for making it through the day with whatever substance you use, because some of us use work. Some of us use our partners in love. Some of us use intimacy. Some of us use television scrolling. Some of us binge listen to WVON, right? Like we do whatever we can just to survive. I will say for me, taking control of what I can control, what I consume, what I nourish my body with, the quality of the food, the quality of my company has literally transformed what I pay attention to. I think your invitation for us to focus on what we can control is something that you should continue to do, because somebody is going to hear you and say, while I can't plant a tree on this property because I'm a renter, what I can do is make sure that what I put into my body is clean. So I thank you for your commitment to the Black family, because that's why I'm here, and for the reminder to do the things that you can do so you can live a healthy, long, disease-free, full mobility life in this Black, beautiful body. So thank you, Art.
Mic drop. I love that. All right. So when we come back, I want to let our listeners know what is being done to control this air situation, because guess what? There's some control that we can take. How about that? When we come back with Dr. Mila Marshall, guys, thank you so much for the call. 773-591-1690. Let's get to traffic and weather real quick. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, baby! I'm your Magnolia Blues man, Sir Henry Cheatham, inviting you to join us
Mr. Big Stuff, tell me.
on WVON 1690 for some real American music and culture. Here on Classic Blues and R&B. Check us out Saturday, 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. on WVON and Classic Blues and R&B.
Some people wait for the future, others build it. WVON proudly presents the 2026 40 Game Changers Under 40. This year, it's a compass celebrating the navigators of next. Do you know an entrepreneur, community change agent, rising executive, educator, innovator, or a creator who is 40 or under and doing great work to help shape the future of Chicago? Or is that someone you? Now through July 17th, we're taking nominations. Visit 40gamechangers.com to submit your nominee. And then keep listening for updates on this year's exciting celebration. In 2026, our compass is on the navigators of next, because Chicago's future belongs to the people bold enough to lead it. Sponsored by BMO.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're staying cool, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. In Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic, 29 minutes. I-57, Ryan, I-80, slow go, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan, I-80, 94, Stop and go traffic, 20 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 37 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office, stop and go traffic, 37 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare is slow go, 50 minutes. And Eden's, Manchester Lake Cook, 1 minute delay, 18 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot and a heat index of 100 to 103. High of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms. High of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, it's time to go, man. I'm about to leave Chicago in October. WVON is on the road again, and this time we're taking you to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Introducing the Rufus Williams Travel Club in partnership with Advantage International. Charleston isn't just another trip, it's going to be a cultural experience. From the roots of Gullah Geechee heritage to the International African American Museum, plus food, history, and waterfront views that hit different. Space is limited, and this one will move fast. Lock your spot now. Visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. I said travel. It's travel. Okay. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Atiba Buchanan. Someone just asked about him. It says, well, is Atiba okay? Look, let me tell you something. He's better than okay. That man is laid out recovering successfully. He just got a new kidney a couple of weeks ago. Literally, he was here on a Tuesday and he was on the table on a Wednesday. Okay. And the good thing about that is because Mila, he introduced me to you. Well, no, he didn't. I thought he did, but we knew each other before. You remember that? So that was great. But here's the thing. I'm so glad he's recovering. He's not worried about this show. He's not thinking about what we're doing. But you guys can please ask about him because I'm going to repeat it so he can hear that he's being asked about. Someone else asked Dr. Mila Marshall in the chat. They asked if we should be wearing face masks during times like this. How effective? Let me see what they said. How effective, I think from what I remember, is wearing a face mask. I hope that's what I remember properly.
Completely ineffective. Does not stop particulate matters from being breathed in. Probably make it more difficult for you to breathe. The safest thing to do would be to stay indoors. If you have the ability to close your windows and turn on your air conditioner, yes. Also, make sure to clean the filters and change the filters in your air conditioner and clean that out. If you do not have a safe, cool place, we do have cooling centers here in the city. Other places that are nice and cool with clean air, libraries. Pick up a really amazing book and hang out with your kids there. Any of our public facilities, but indoors or going out early in the morning, staying away from peak sun and heat during the day. Nighttime might be warmer depending on where you live. If you don't have an abundance of trees or you live in what we call an urban heat island, but stay indoors, stay cool, and stay from outside when it's really hot and there's plenty of cars outside making it sicker, with sicker air.
Good point. I love the summertime and I crave it. Like when I leave here, that's what I want to do. I want to go to the beach. I want to be outside. But you and I spoke earlier and I see Pianki holding. He said he wants to talk about something that has to do with radiation. Do you have some solutions? Like, are some people working on some air quality solutions, or should we grab this caller first? Let's get Pianki out of the way and move to the solutions. Pianki, you're live on WVON.
Yeah, I was going to make a mention about the ionization radiation. Like when you have a lightning storm, you can basically smell it. and that's very dangerous. Like that is emitted when you have a nuclear explosion. But another thing too. One of the things that homeowners can do is get with landscapers about the placement of shrubbery around your home, especially around your bedroom windows, because there's nothing wrong with cracking those windows and also positioning your windows in order to achieve cross ventilation and let that fresh air come through your house, especially if your shrubberies have mulch that has been watered and the shrubs themselves have been watered. That's very, very beneficial to maintain health. And one other thing, in the wintertime, turn your heat down. There's nothing wrong with sleeping in a 60-degree bedroom. That's what covers are for. Get under the covers and warm up, and don't have the heat up as hot as you possibly can. That will relieve some of the stress on your inhalation.
Yeah, but what if you don't have a boo to cuddle up with? What, are covers enough? I'm sorry, it's not Thursday.
Well,
That's Relationship Thursday.
There's mail order dolls. So I think you can try them.
Mail order doll or dogs?
Dolls, DOLLS.
Oh no, Pianki. No, those dolls are cold. Not that I know. Okay, not that I know. All right, what are some solutions that we have in these couple of minutes that till the top of the hour? Some people are working on solutions, Dr. Mila.
I love WVON callers. Like, there's nobody like them on earth. I love them.
I agree.
So, I love the idea of working with your landscapers and identifying ways that you can add vegetation. Also, if you have or close to a nursery, working with folks for indoor plants that can also clean your air. I do want to shout out, Atiba loves it when I land the plane on a positive note. Have you ever heard of the Black Inventors Hall of Fame, LaDonna?
No, wait. Black Inventors Hall of Fame. I do believe so.
Okay,
Do
so
tell.
this is their second induction gala that they're hosting here in Chicago. It's tomorrow. Last year was the first one in Tulsa, and they're turning this into an actual museum on the East Coast, and they're doing a fundraiser. This is the first year that they will be honoring a young scholar. Her name is Inyola Shakunbi, and she is dedicated to improving indoor air quality in schools and homes across the country. And she has invented a DIY filter that's going to be used and installed in her community, and she'll be honored. And her school is in Connecticut. So we have so much brilliance in our community, people that are looking to solve problems that we are faced with and that everybody is faced with because of what's happening with our infrastructure and with climate. And so just want to lift her up, and that, yes, there are a number of solutions. Some of them are habits. Others are things that you can purchase or things that you can stop doing and disinvest in. My hope is that everyone will stay safe. Please check on your neighbors, check on your elders and your seniors. Keep a cooler if you have the capacity in your car with ice so you can have cold water if you need, or if you have cold water, give it to somebody if you see them struggling or if you see them overheating. Please use the cooling centers and let people know. And also, please take care of your pets. Do not leave them dogs outside in this heat. Put ice cubes in their water. Take care of your animals as well as your children. Heat stroke and getting heat sickness can happen in a minute. Just please stay safe and take care of each other.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mila Marshall. You always make it so easy to understand that we need to really stay indoors. It's like
I don't know why I laugh so loud, but
because that is like, okay, if it's flooding, stay indoors. No, I'm just kidding. We have to stay indoors and keep our lungs clear from debris, even though we can't see it. That is so scary to me. So now I'm gonna run to my car. I'm gonna hold my breath.
Girl, don't call me 10 minutes from now. Talk about is this gonna kill us smog?
Is this war? No.
You are so scary. You are so scary.
I am a little scary. I am a little scary. All right, Dr. Mila Marshall, we're going to go to news, traffic, and weather. And we thank you for unpacking this conversation and giving us some solutions and things to look out for. Pay attention to. Michael O'Connor, I see you holding. I'll get you on the other side. Right? We'll be right back.
I trust you are seeking shade during today's heat wave. I'm Logan Page, and here is your news headlines. Chicago to celebrate gospel icon Pam Morris Walton. Stolen SUV leads to multi-vehicle crash. In Rogers Park, Azor Stevens scores 18 in first half to lead Sky to victory. Hilton employee fired after alleged racist message to Chelsea Gray. And R. Kelly asked Trump to commute his 30-year prison sentence. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
EIN News Now. Questions remain after a Houston ICE raid ended with the death of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia.
Asians approach in unmarked vehicles with no lights, and none had dash cam videos.
She says available video evidence raises doubts about claims he drove toward agents while local and federal investigations continue. Abortion will be on the ballot in at least 4 states this November, including Idaho, where voters will decide whether to roll back the state's abortion ban. Similar measures in Virginia, Nevada, and Missouri could reshape abortion access in those states. And Nicki Minaj's company, Harajuku Barbie Music, is being sued by her own law firm for nearly $230,000 in unpaid legal fees tied to a 2024 copyright case they worked on for her. Court records show a default has been entered after the rapper reportedly failed to continue payments and didn't respond to the lawsuit. Get EIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
Senate Democrats defeating a motion to proceed to the $1.15 trillion annual defense authorization bill. The measure typically enjoys strong bipartisan support, but this year it's devolved into a partisan fight over defense spending levels. New Jersey's Black Senator Cory Booker's position hasn't changed in the past few months.
The way he is trying to bring us out of this war not only speaks to the failures of the war in total, but it also speaks in a bipartisan way to how bad of a leader he is. When you have Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and progressives all coming out talking about capitulation, surrender, catastrophe, you know how bad this deal is. Iran gets all of the benefits, literally billions and billions of dollars, and America continues to hurt and see the losses from the $100 billion we spent in the war to every American citizen seeing their costs skyrocket.
The motion to advance the annual defense bill failing 50-46 and needed 60 votes to succeed. Senators voted along party lines, except for Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who changed his vote from yes to no. And there were 4 senators who missed the vote. The legislation advanced out of the Senate Armed Services Committee last month. Democrats also cited a restart of the military conflict with Iran and the president's failure to seek congressional authorization. All right. Meanwhile, Trump said strikes would continue unless Iran negotiates.
Next week, it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges.
Trump said Iran has a lot of fight in them. He told Fox News the only way to negotiate with Iran is through strength and threatened that the U.S. would hit bridges and power plants if Iran fails to negotiate. This comes as the U.S. has reimposed the naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and launched strikes against Iran for another day. New York's Black Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement that the first time the administration tried to take mental health services away from children, we beat them in court. Now, she's among a group of state attorneys general suing the Department of Education over what they claim is unlawful termination of congressionally approved mental health grants for public school students. The grants were awarded for a 5-year project period. Last year, the Education Department implemented plans to discontinue the program on the basis that they conflicted with the administration's current priorities. A U.S. district judge granting a permanent injunction on the plan, agreeing with plaintiffs that it was arbitrary and capricious under federal law. Despite the motion, the department has indicated it still intends to terminate some or all of the grants at the end of the month. The former president of Senegal, Macky Sall, returning to the region to meet his successor, Bassirou Faye, for the first time since leaving office. His mission is to garner support for his United Nations Secretary General bid. The former president announcing the trip in a statement on social media, describing it as part of consultations and meetings linked to his campaign for the top post. Senegal writ large has so far remained silent on Sall's UN ambitions and has not officially supported his candidacy. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Summer is here, the season of sunshine, swimming, picnics, and the freedom to have fun and enjoy yourself. United Fidelity Bank believes freedom starts with smart savings. Whether you're hanging with friends and family or enjoying a summer night, your money should still be working for you. Open a United Fidelity Bank 18-month certificate of deposit with a 4.25% annual percentage yield. It's a simple, steady way to grow your savings, letting your money work for you. At United Fidelity Bank, they focus on you, your needs, your goals, your questions. Their personal service is something you will not find at a big box bank. Get the experience you need and the service you deserve. Stop by their Chicago flagship branch at 1701 West 87th Street to open your 18-month 4.25% APY CD today, or visit UnitedFidelity.com. United Fidelity Bank, where your summer of smart savings begins. Rate subject to change at any time. CDs renew automatically at the standard rate in effect at the time of renewal unless instructed otherwise. Member FDIC.
A new episode of Mama I Made It is here. This month, award-winning journalist Samantha Chapman sits down with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for a candid conversation about leadership, public service, and the issues shaping the future of our state. From the challenges of governing to the people and experiences that have shaped his journey. This is a side of the governor you won't want to miss. Stream the new episode of Mama I Made It only on Vaughn TV. Available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, and at VON.TV.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with the deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt's, and Trex Decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're driving safely, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, slow go, 27 minutes, I-57, Ryan's I-80, no delays. Due to slow-moving traffic, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94, slow go, 17 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 34 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolftown Post Office, please be cautious. There is a report of a pedestrian in the center lane. Eisenhower at Ashton Avenue, 36 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 47 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, 2-minute delay, 19 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms. High of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 93 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
I don't remember this song. That's Tevin. Ooh, such a underrated singer, artist. I tell you what, you know who's not underrated here at VON? That's Miss Pam Morris. I want you to know something special is on the way for our very own gospel sister, Pam Morris Walton. For more than 40 years, she shared faith, hope, and inspiration with Chicago. And now the entire city of Chicago will celebrate her. Keep listening to WVON for a very special announcement. You won't want to miss it. You're listening to the afternoon show. Atiba Buchanan is recovering successfully, yes. And Ken Duncan is on a family reunion, yes. So, two men in my life have left me. That's right. They just left. Story of my life. But anyway, you're listening to LaDonna Raeh. I am here for you on the afternoon show. And I want you to keep sharing the show because those numbers count. They matter. We want to definitely make sure that you get the message across to people that we are telling the stories or having the information that they can use and having the callers that call in and give their perspectives. I welcome all perspectives. We don't have to agree. I don't get mad when we don't. I just let you talk and then I respond when necessary or if necessary. And I just want to, give everyone a chance to have that moment to speak their mind because there are different perspectives out there. But speaking of speaking your mind, we just talked to Dr. Mila Marshall about the environment, the pollution, and how the smoke is going to kind of blow over this way from Canada because of those wildfires and what you should do and how you can stay safe. So, Michael O'Connor, I want to get you on the line. You're live on WVON. What you got for me? Let's have a conversation.
Hi, good afternoon. First of all, I want to congratulate you for being Dr. Raeh.
Thank you.
I got my degree in my 50s and worked and supported members of my family because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear a strong, black, educated woman, and that you are. With that being said, I don't understand the perspective of African Americans who call the station and just don't know our history. I mean, let me put it like this. A French Haitian discovered Chicago. You would never know it unless you know our history. With that being said, after discovering this city, we have been dealing with red lines and race riots, since 1919. So I am not surprised when neighborhoods are segregated, so are the resources. So are the public resources. I remember when people like Richard Barnett and them back in the day, my elders, and Alice Tregay, my ancestors, both of them are ancestors now. And they informed us on VON because it was a regular occurrence of people dumping garbage on vacant lots in our neighborhood, Dr. Raeh. And, I was just so glad to hear Dr. Marshall in her assertions, which are facts. Nature does not know geographical boundaries of man. And it would make, if you think about it, that makes sense. So the more we pollute our community, the more we do not deal with public policy, specifically as it concerns taking the green out of our community, the more we're going to suffer. That's why I'm waiting to see another town hall concerning the data center that's going to be put over where the old steel mill was on the south side.
Yeah.
That's my comment. You have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And just for clarification, I am honorary doctorate that I received just about it's been a month. I feel like it's been 6 weeks. But thank you so much for your comment and calling in. However, there's something to be said when we segregate ourselves and nature doesn't. That's something that we can definitely think about and apply in everything that we do. I remember growing up, that's all I heard was how segregated Chicago was. And I didn't understand it because, well, I was a kid. But when we moved to the suburbs, and it was the south suburbs, we moved to Cal City. It was all white when we moved out there. That was in 1983. And that was my first run-in with racism. But I've told you guys that story before. And it is unfortunate that we paint ourselves into a corner or we end up in a particular community and that particular community is disinvested. I look at some of my old communities, even in my old neighborhood where I grew up over in Cal City. Dominic's, it used to be Dominic's, now it's Pete's. Popeye's Chicken used to be there, now it's something else. But the trash the unkept storefronts, the grass, the weeds, it looks completely different than it did in 1983. And what is up with that, Mayor Thaddeus Jones? What is up with that? What is up with that when it comes to when you come back to a neighborhood, a community, and it looks like trash? Doesn't look the same. I forgot the alderman's name. I ran into him. He was a football player. You know who he is. And I had a conversation with him. I haven't gotten a response back because as I see these communities, I'm hitting these aldermen up. I'm hitting them up and I'm saying, hey, listen, we need an ordinance for these commercial properties to still keep their property up because it brings down the property value and morale of the community. I'm serious about that. So there is something that we can do. Let's go to traffic and weather. When we come back, I want to wish Jamal Cole a happy birthday and tell you what he did not too long ago. Yeah, that's right. Napoleon. That was his name. Still is his name. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out and to see myself in those credits, with dun, 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 and be like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and Friends, a fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Ada S. McKinley provides behavioral and mental health services at 4 Southside clinics. They serve people of all ages with a strong focus on therapy, counseling, and youth crisis. Their counselors and mental health professionals are well-trained and experienced in treating problems caused by emotional distress and or trauma. To schedule an appointment, call 312-761-1099 or visit adasmckinley.org.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Hey, Alexa, Play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Traffic is beginning to slow down Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th, stop and go traffic. 25 minutes. I-57 rides I-80, no delays. 15 minutes. Bishop Ford rides I-80, 94. Slow-moving traffic, 17 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 32 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, there is a report of pedestrian in the center lane. Eisenhower at Ashland Avenue, 35 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare is at a snail speed, 45 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, still severe heat threats, and please be cautious of the wildfire smoke from Canada. It's very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 96 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Girl, come walk with me.
I remember this one. I was a little brown-eyed girl listening to this song. All right, guys, it's the afternoon show. Someone's asking, will Ken or Atiba be back tomorrow? I'll let them know that they have a fan, Brother Wall. Thank you so much. No, they will not. Okay. Atiba's out recovering. He won't be back for whenever it takes, however long it takes for him to recover. We are not in a rush. He had a kidney transplant. Like they went and they took him 2 weeks ago from the station to the table. He won't be back until he's ready, until his doctor clears him, and until he feels ready to come back and deal with y'all. Okay. Ken, he'll be back Monday. That's all I got. I'm filling in for him Friday. Me and I believe Eddie will be on Friday. But do tune in and do share. So thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, you can hit those phone lines, of course, 773-591-1690. Happy Wednesday. I want to kind of present to you something that you may already know, you may not know, but I want to take a moment to wish a very happy birthday to someone who has spent years reminding Chicago that hope is an action word. Happy birthday to Jamal Cole, founder of My Block, My Hood, My City. Jamal, thank you for challenging all of us to see beyond our own block, invest in our young people, and believe that exposure can change expectations. We totally appreciate the work that you're doing, and we hope that this whole year or this next year of your life is an even greater impact. So happy birthday to you, Jamal Cole. And I brought that up because I get a lot of happy birthday todays, and I don't say happy birthday to everyone. But I wanted to mention this because I saw what he was doing with the Chicago teens. Chicago teens aren't asking for trouble. They're simply asking to be seen. So every time you see a teen takeover, which is what the media has labeled it as, every time you see a group of black kids get together, it's a teen takeover. My son was even confused on what that was because he went to McDonald's and saw that it was a bunch of black teenagers in the McDonald's. And I drove, because I was supposed to pick him up from that McDonald's. I drove so fast to try to get there too. And I had in my mind that I would talk to those teens. Stop acting up. Don't incite violence. This is not the way. But when I got there, the teenagers were just simply eating their cheeseburgers and drinking their shakes, paying for their food, sitting down, not being rowdy, smiling, laughing, having a good time. And I wanted to grab my son by the ear and say, "That boy, that ain't no teen takeover. That's just black teens having a good time, having lunch at McDonald's." But over the past weekend, I think it was about 5 days ago, more than 1,000 teens from Chicago's South and West Sides came downtown, not to disrupt the city, but to discover it. I often told I used to tease my cousin. Her name is Brittany or BB O'Hare. I used to tease her because her mother wouldn't let her off the block. And when she got off the block, it was different. She had to be with her mother and her brother, same thing, Brock. I used to tease them, say, "You can't even get off the block." But that's not what's happening here. What happened here is 1,000 teens went with my block, my hood, my city, and they visited museums, explored Navy Pier, walked Michigan Avenue, ate at restaurants, shopped, and experienced parts of Chicago that many had never seen before. The fourth annual Downtown Day. Now, I remember when this was started. And again, it was organized by Jamal Cole's organization. He partnered with more than 30 businesses and cultural institutions, and every teen received a $50 prepaid card to enjoy the city. That is per NBC Chicago. Now, one young participant said something that I think every adult in Chicago needs to hear. Watch this. "I feel like teens just want to be seen. They want to be heard." I agree with that. I told you all, when those kids are standing on top of the highest SUV they can find or the highest car they can find or get to, what we see and what is happening is damaged property or damaging property. But what they see is a stage. So think about that. Not only do they don't necessarily want to get in trouble. Now, this is not a long drawn out conversation. I'm only doing this for 2 more minutes. I just want you to think about how teenagers, yeah, they need, you say they need their rumps whooped. Absolutely. If they do something wrong, absolutely. But I want us to kind of have a perspective of our children. This is not a making an excuse type thing. The ones that cause trouble, yes, absolutely, there should be repercussions. But teens getting together is not a crime. When you see a bunch of black folks at Hurricane Katrina going into a non-staffed or closed grocery store to get food because they have no other choice, that's looting. When you see a white family going into that same grocery store to get food, they're finding food. Big difference to what you see on the street corners. When you see a bunch of black teens on the corner, they're causing trouble. What are they up to? When you see white teens, they're gathering. What is our perspective telling us? This is a thought-provoking 1 minute left. Okay. They're very different conversations. And Jamal Cole said something that really stuck with me. He said, "If you show kids better, they can do better. They always rise to the occasion." And that is so true. They always rise to the occasion. Shout out to After School Matters. They always bring teens together with these programs. Shout out to Lathea Smiles for having the filmmakers boot camp that she has for 6 weeks. They always rise to the occasion. Shout out to Teamwork Inglewood. They always rise to the occasion. Think Outside the Block. They always rise to the occasion. And I'm going to leave it there. And when we come back, we have another guest for you. Thank you so much for listening to my rant. But happy birthday, Jamal Cole, and anyone else who shares in this celebratory day for their birthday. We'll be right back. It's news, traffic, and weather on the afternoon show.
I trust you're seeking shade during today's heat wave. I'm Logan Page, and here it's happening in your local and national news. Chicago is preparing a special tribute for gospel broadcaster Pam Morse Walton, known as the city's gospel sister. For more than 40 years, she has shared faith, hope, and inspiration with the community. A special announcement honoring her legacy is expected soon. In other news, police say 4 people broke into a North Side auto repair shop and stole an SUV, leading to a multi-vehicle crash in Rogers Park. The stolen vehicles struck several cars and a garage door before coming to a stop. One suspect was arrested, while 3 others fled the scene. 4 people involved in the crash were hospitalized in good condition. In other news, the Sky is victorious in a rare midday game at Wintrust Arena. They defeated the Seattle Storm 95-90. Azor Stevens led by the Sky with 20 points, with 18 in the first half. Chicago is 8-16 and end a 2-game losing streak. The Sky is back in action on Friday when they take on the Los Angeles Sparks at Wintrust Arena. In other news, a Hilton Grand Vacations employee has been fired after allegedly sending a racist Instagram message to Las Vegas Aces star Chelsea Gray. The company said the employee's conduct violated multiple policies and did not reflect its values. Gray shared a screenshot of the alleged message after the Aces lost to the Indiana Fever. The incident comes amid heightened tensions in the WNBA, following reports of threats and increased scrutiny over player safety and harassment. And R. Kelly is asking President Trump to commute his 30-year prison sentence. The disgraced R&B star made the formal request for clemency, stopping short of seeking a full pardon. The request comes after his attorney pushed for his release last year over claims his wife was in danger. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in 2022 after being convicted in New York on federal racketeering and other charges related to recruiting women and minors for sex. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church, tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
This report is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help you troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're having a great day, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic, 25 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tayeti, slow go, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tayeti, 94, slowing traffic, 17 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 34 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfton Post Office, stop and go traffic, 35 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare is at a snail speed, 44 minutes. And Edens, Montrose, Slate Cook, smooth sailing, 21 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's only 96 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Alrighty then. Boy, Chicago is the place to be. Because guess what's happening Monday, July 20th? WVON's Matt McGill will broadcast his show live from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. from the McCormick Place West building for the NAACP's 117th National Convention, We the People, happening July 18th through the 22nd. Leaders, advocates, entertainers, and changemakers from all across the country to advance civil rights and social justice. They'll address issues like voting rights, education, criminal justice, environmental justice, and economic opportunity. Convention guests include Governor J.B. Pritzker, Mayor Brandon Johnson, Senator Dick Durbin, Morris Chestnut, Morris Chestnut, Billy Porter, Don Lemon, Jamel Hill, Malcolm D. Lee, Jabari Banks, G. Erbo, and Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III. To register, visit naacp.org/thehub. That's HUB as in boy. You're listening to the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Raeh is in the house. And, just recently, right before the break, you guys let me rant. And I thank you for that. You can call too, 773-591-1690. I want to, in order for us to change our history forward going, we got to change the narrative. We can't accept what we have been told all of our lives. We can't accept what people have said all of our lives. We got to do the research. We got to do the digging. I often tell my kids, I say, listen, I can't tell you about Africa because I've never been. But what I can refer to and say, according to the resources that I've read, that I've experienced, I've YouTubed, I've talked to people that are from Africa, different parts of Africa. I know it's a whole continent, right? But the same thing goes when it comes to history or social justice or civil rights, human rights. It's kind of hard to talk about certain things when you haven't gone through it. Can you actually facilitate a war or combat if you've never been in it? Let that sit for a minute. I know you know the answer. Can you say what a budget should look like if you've never written a budget? Well, I tell you who's writing a budget and what budget cuts are taking place. Chicago Public Schools lay off 760 teachers as officials look to close a massive deficit. Oh my goodness. We already don't have enough teachers. And now more are getting laid off. We're cutting the wrong thing, in my opinion. Can someone explain something to me? Every year when there's a budget crisis, the first people to pay the price seem to be the people doing the work. This morning, this morning I opened up my Alexa. Well, I'm sorry if I, generated your Alexa just now. And I'm like, okay, give me the news, right? It gives me the news and I'm listening. And there's nothing positive, as you all say, nothing positive at all. And now this. So this was just sent to me thank you, Lori. And I open it up. I see the headline: Chicago Public Schools lay off 760 teachers and more than 800 support staff because of a $732 million deficit. Not because children disappeared, because they're there. Not because classrooms got smaller, because we know that didn't happen. Not because education suddenly became less important. Maybe it did to some people. Because we couldn't make the math work. And somehow the solution is always cut the teachers, cut the counselors. Like my son, one of my sons has an IEP. The moment I see cut, I'm like, cut. Cut what? There's already a deficit in what staff is available and when. So this is an important situation to pay attention to. How are we cutting counselors and teachers and nurses, and somebody get hurt and the nurse isn't in today? Cut the people who actually interact with our children every single day. That makes no sense to me. And here's what really frustrates me, because that frustrates me too. We spend so many millions trying to fix violence. We spend millions trying to reduce incarceration, seemingly. Yet people are still getting locked up and the violence is still violencing. Millions are responding after young people fall through the cracks, and this is not the answer. But when it's time to invest in the very people who can prevent those problems, like the teachers, right? We call them budget cuts. We call the budget cuts to take over and take place. How does that make sense? Budget cuts. I cut budgets at home. But one thing, when I was trying to save my home, I told you all this before. I cut out eating out. We're not doing any meals outside. We're not doing any entertainment. The counselor said to me, don't cut that out. You still have to keep the morale up in your home. Your children still need to be entertained. They still need to. I said, you know what? I'll never do that again. And this doesn't make sense because when you have fewer counselors, fewer teachers, you hand our children bigger classroom sizes, less individual attention, fewer adults who might notice when a child is struggling. I sound like Ron, don't I? That's the cadence. Then years later, we ask, well, what happened? Kids can't read. Really? I also want us to stop accepting deficits as if they're natural disasters. They're not. They're not natural disasters. Oh, okay. Well, I guess they just could. There was no other thing. There was no other way. There was no other way. This isn't like a flood or like the air quality. This is a result of decisions. Who decided to cut the budget of the salaries of the teachers themselves? Who gets held accountable? It seems like people making six figures, rather. Those people are still making those salaries and they're still getting paid. They're still getting their money. But second grade teachers that are buying crayons out of their own pockets. Because, see, my grandmother was a teacher. One of my best friends is a teacher. I see how they go to the stores and pay for it out of pocket. They get the pink slip. They get the pink slip for showing up every day for your child, for our children. I don't know what to say. I don't know how do we fix this? We cannot throw a blanket over this or a Band-Aid over this and keep it moving, because the people that suffer are the children, the future leaders of America, the ones that are going to be curing cancer, different types of cancer, because there's 103,000 types of cancer. Okay. The ones that are going to be inventors, technologists, economists. Our children are not doomed, and they don't deserve that. More people in the classroom whining because they don't have their phones? Really? If I have a parent's ear, I want to repeat my statement that I made before that has nothing to do with the budget cuts, but it has everything to do with teaching our children how to have internal discipline so that our teachers aren't worn the you-know-what out. Take their phones when you come home so that you can take that screen time away. And what does that have to do with the budget cuts? Everything. Because your child is in that seat. And if they're not learning because their mind is still developing and they're still stuck on being on the phones, then the teachers have a harder time. They can't control their classroom. And of course, it's being overseen. People see that. They say, well, you know what? Get rid of the teacher. Nah, we're not doing it. We all play a part in this. If our children are truly our future, why does education always seem to be negotiable whenever money gets tight? We sell this dream that if you're in America, as long as you get your education, you can live a comfortable life. But that hasn't been the case. That hasn't been the case at all. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. That was my second rant of the day. And coming up next, we're going to have a truly feel-good story. We're going to bring on the True Stars co-founder, Deanna McCleary. They are celebrating and hosting their 4th annual From the Go Fest next Saturday. And that's going to be at the DuSable Museum. It's free. It's a hip hop music festival. It'll feature young music artists. And I tell you what, if you got to use hip hop or a festival or an outing or an event to bring all the children and the young people together and all the mentors together, then do it. But when you get them there, make sure you have something positive to tell them so that they can continue to go on. More of this with them when we come back on the afternoon show. WVON 63 years, baby, and counting. Traffic and weather will be back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Gospel with Pam Morris Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays, 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there, WVON.
Some people wait for the future, others build it. WVON proudly presents the 2026 40 Game Changers Under 40. This year, it's a compass celebrating the navigators of next. Do you know an entrepreneur, community change agent, rising executive, educator, innovator, or a creator who is 40 or under and doing great work to help shape the future of Chicago? Or is that someone you? Now through July 17th, we're taking nominations. Visit 40gamechangers.com to submit your nominee. And then keep listening for updates on this year's exciting celebration. In 2026, our compass is on the navigators of next, because Chicago's future belongs to the people bold enough to lead it. Sponsored by BMO.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com. Grinding and squealing are signs it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop RockAuto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hope you're having a great day, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic, 25 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80. Slow go, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94. Slow moving traffic, 18 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, 13-minute delay, 30 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office is at a snail speed, 31 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, bumper to bumper traffic, 39 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, slow moving traffic, 20 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, very hot with a heat index of 100 to 103, high of 96 and a low of 75. Tomorrow, smoky skies and isolated storms, high of 90 and a low of 72. It's currently 96 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Like a stepchild with the future not so bright. I thought you said you would never be that way to me. You said you never leave me for the rest of my life. And I believed you all the times you said to me, baby, you're always on my mind. I don't believe you, so say the words you said to me. And I'll be
On my way, I got to say goodbye. I'll be saying goodbye after our guest. All right, guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Atiba Buchanan, LaDonna Raeh, Ken Duncan. I feel like it's all three of us on the show, right? But Atiba is out because he is recovering from his kidney transplant. and Kian is out with his family reunion. He'll be back on Monday. Watch this, guys. You can I don't know if you can hit the phone lines because we're gonna go in heavy. We're talking to our next guest, and she's in studio. You guys can see her on Facebook Live if you're there. So she's gonna wave in just a second because I'm gonna tell you who she is. Watch this. There's thousands of young people that are being highlighted on a regular basis. But in this case, you are building brands, producing content, leading events, and preparing to become tomorrow's business and community leaders. Am I saying that right?
You saying that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now this, because that voice you hear is Tashay Denny, the Chief Operating Officer of True Star Media and Festival Director for From the Go Fest.
Yes.
Tell us about From the Go Fest.
Yes.
What is that?
Yes.
Fourth annual? 4 years?
Sixth annual.
Sixth annual. Gotcha.
Sixth annual. So From the Go Fest is a community and music festival ideated, produced, and executed by young people in Chicago. So it started off as an idea of a cohort of young people in 2021 coming out of the COVID pandemic. And they said, we need to be outside.
Right.
What does that look like? They said, well, we need space to be in community. We want to support the creatives that we have, and we want to do it our way. And so in true Star fashion, we figured out some resources, got some community behind it, had a little small something in the park that first year, and then it's grown ever since, and we're in our 6th year now.
Oh, wow. 6 years and counting. I love saying that. So you got young people that they missed about 2 years during COVID.
Yes.
I know people say COVID is over with, but it's not.
It's not.
These children or young people are still dealing with the effects of not having that 2-year social emotional learning. But they said that we want to be outside.
We want to be outside.
They knew that.
They knew that.
Before we get into the festival itself, going like deep into it, can you tell us a little bit about True Star Media?
Yes. So True Star is a foundation that has been around for the past 22 years. And it really started off in the same sense. It started off as an organization created to give young people a voice. And it started off with our co-founders, Deanna Sherman and Natay Thompson. And they're in their young prime. They were co-instructors for an after-school program at Rainbow Beach Park with about 15 kids to start a newsletter. Hey, can we just give you all an opportunity to interview your peers and the local folks, put it together, literally a 2-slap, pager with a cover, and it taught them literacy skills, interview skills, communication skills, team building skills. And from there, over the 22 years, they had
social skills. Right.
Yes. And it was literally the news about their neighborhood. From there, it turned into a 62-page glossy magazine that they ran in print for about a decade. And then around 2018, young people said, well, we don't read magazines anymore. And so they made the decision.
And what year was that again?
2018.
Dang.
Yeah. So from 2004 to 2018.
I remember Right On. And...
Yeah, that was my generation. We could not wait to get our hands on some of those publications. But 2018, young people said that's not the way that we receive it anymore. And so True Star went 100% digital.
Wow.
And from there,
what was the response like when you went digital from the young people?
That's a really great question. I would say that there was a lot of excitement around it, but because the digital world it's a lot going on in the digital world. And so when we had the print magazine, sometimes that was the only time you could get a story or get the news or understand what was happening. But now in the digital world, there's so much happening. And so I think that their response was overall positive, but then also becomes kind of this lost art of editorial journalism or actual writing. You see the wave of video and digital media. And so right around that time is kind of where True Star moved to digital. And then we got into production, and then we got into film. And now we're 100% into digital media.
I love that. Well, if someone never attended the Go Fest, what can they expect to experience? What is it like? What is the day? Paint the picture.
Yeah, so I will paint the picture. What you can expect is you can expect to connect to Chicago culture from a youth's perspective. Expect to connect. Okay. So what that means is as soon as you come in, you are going to be greeted by Chicago's youth because they're excited that it's on. We have over 30 performers performing from the ages of 16 to 26 on the stage. We will have food vendors. We will have activations.
Who's on the stage?
giveaway
Any celebrities
opportunities.
we know?
Local, yes, they're all celebrities to us. But actually, one of our final acts is Papa J, Chicago's own Papa J, and Lil Moo, who has a really amazing story with True Star. So
And they've already earned an NAACP and a BET award recognition.
Yes. Yeah. So Papa J, he's coming home to grace the stage. He's graced our stage a few times before, but he always shows love and comes home to Chicago to be with us during this time. And then Lil Moo, who is actually a performer, dancer, and rapper. She started off as a dancer a couple of years ago, and now she's closing the show because she just came from Tokyo, Asia. She's all around the world. Her music is popping, and she's like, no, but I got to go home and I got to show love to From the Go, because that's kind of where she started. So
when is this at DuSable Museum? I did read that. What day is this on?
It is Saturday, July 18th from 12 noon to 7 p.m.
So how do people get involved? What are there tickets? I mean, I see it's free, but
yes, it is free. So you can go to FromTheGoFest.com. FromTheGoFest.com is where you can get your free pass to the festival. Even if you are not able to get a free pass in advance, you can come the day of. You can register and get your pass on the spot and come into the festival.
Now, this event is completely free. Just real quick, tell us about the partnerships and community support that made this possible.
Yes. So we have our longstanding presenting sponsor, Metropolitan Peace Initiatives, who see the vision, forward thinking, and also see us as an anti-violence, violence prevention program. We also have the Chicago Community Trust. We have Wind Trust. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have the Chicago Department of Public Health with an anti-vaping campaign that has come on to help, which is really exciting because music festivals are kind of like a space where you see that vaping happening. And so they're there. Their youth ambassadors are there saying, hey, there's another option here. It's called Me and Nick Broke Up. So
me and Nick.
As the nicotine.
Right, I know what you
broke
meant.
up. Yeah, and so they'll be there.
You had me thinking about my ex named Nick, but okay.
My ex named Nick too. Now, hold on.
There's a Nick. Wait, how tall is? Okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Another time. But no, so they'll be there. We also have some of our sponsors, Sprite Vitamin Water. They'll be there, so we're gonna have a good time.
I love it. Well, you know what? Everybody, get your tails out to July 18th.
Yes.
Okay, to the Go Fest. That's going to be at DuSable Museum.
Yes.
And what time?
12 o'clock noon.
12 noon to
7 p.m.
All right, don't be late. Don't come at 8. It's over with. Okay, 12 to 7, guys. Get out there. Bring the young people. Send the young people.
Yes.
Right.
Bring your young people. Come with the young people.
Come with the young people. I might do that.
Yeah, bring your young people.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the bus or in an Uber. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. Thank you so much, Tashay, for coming on the afternoon show. Yeah. Guys, that's it. That's all for today. Thank you so much for your calls, for holding, for your comments, for your sharing. Make sure you share the show and give a great deal of love to Atiba. Download that app and hit the open mic button and tell him how you really feel. Okay, now he can't say nothing about it. He can't say nothing back. So go ahead and drop a line. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Dr. LaDonna Raeh signing off. Bye-bye for now.
Might want to grab your rain boots for tomorrow's storm. Summertime shy. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Vaughn TV offers summer lineup of inspiring content. Toddler falls from window of Southside home.